Oh, I feel like I need to stand up straight to get my posture right for that one. A very good morning to you. I hope you're well, everybody, and I hope you are enjoying Hochanda. My name is Janice. It's great to have your company, as always, and it's great to have the company of Polkadoodles as well. We're going to be talking to Nikki from Polkadoodles in a few moments' time, but we need to tell you about stamp soup. If you've never seen stamp soup, and there are many, many collectors out there, so I do need to get that in pretty quick, so I know we're going to be busy. Stamp soup is all about you being the designer. It's about you taking those stamps and combining them however you want to, creating whatever you desire. I've used some of the stamps from Stamp Soup and it is amazing what you can do. You start off with one of them and then you add another, and then if you've got a fine liner pen you might want to add a little bit of detail, and then when you look back you think to yourself, I've done that, and it really is amazing. And Nikki Hall herself is such a wonderful designer and always brings you innovative products so that you can be, oh, there you go, was doing so well, so that you can be the artist. Now, I did that because maybe Nikki was channeling me and said, show that lovely sample. So let me just bring this in. Nikki's very, very proud of this particular sample. If you take a look at that, how amazing is that? Now that's been made up with the stamps in the collection. That's been made up with your stamps from the collection. That really is incredible. And you will be able to do that, very, very similar to that, when you get these home. So let's have a look at the images that you've got on here. So you can see you've got your different elements that can be anything to you, or you can use the wonderful stamps here to build and create those faces. So you've got your eye there, you've got your nose just there, and you've got your different doodles as well. Now with the stamp collection we are talking about making and creating your own designs, and the world really is your oyster when you take these out. It's all about value for money as well. Now when you buy some stamp sets, that's all you can do with them. Stamp them out and it's a flower, for example. When we've got stamp soup, it could be a flower, it could be a bee, it could be anything you want it to be. And it's about getting the stamps out, placing them down on the paper and just seeing what you make and create. There's no right and there's no wrong, and that's why we love Stamp Soup and the collection of stamps put together, drawn by Nikki as well. Wonderful artist, love doodling, but I can't do it as good as Nikki. But now with the stamps, I can stamp away the doodles and make and create some lovely designs. And of course, that's going to inspire me to maybe pick up some pens and start to doodle away. Isn't that lovely? And it's about the use of colours as well, so that when you've got the stamps and you add your colour, making and creating some excellent designs. So with your Stamp Soup Garden Surprise collection, you've got your Garden Glory surprise, and you've got 54 stamps in total. 54 stamps. On the actual packaging itself, can I just grab, I'm going to place this black card behind the stamp so you can still see the stamps. But what's really nice is that on the back you've got some examples of what you can create. So that stamp set there, if I bring that down, you can see you've got your different elements. Well, you can create a butterfly, you can create flowers, you can create a bird, but you'll notice there's no bird within that particular stamp set because you create it, you make it from the shapes, from the doodles that are there. Let's grab the other one and show you. So let's place that back under there, and then let's place that on there and show you the inspiration for that stamp set. And this is the one that you can make and create those beautiful faces from. So you'll see in there you've got that large eye. Now that eye can be blue, it can be green, it can be pink, it can be orange, it doesn't matter. But what you're doing is creating these wonderful faces and using your colouring techniques as well. Now you don't have to add those eyes to a face, you could just add those eyes, because then you've got that lovely mysterious element of just having eyes on your project. Or how about those eyes being flowers. So your eyes are the centre to the flowers, and then maybe you could doodle some petals on the top. How about those eyes being wheels to a car? I know, it sounds crazy, but it's not. That's what the recipe of Stamp Soup is all about. You choose the recipe to create, and that's where Stamp Soup comes from. Oh my goodness, 10% of the collection has gone already. We knew this was going to be busy. We did get a lot of stock in for this, but I'm telling you now, it's already flying and 10% of the stock has gone. £13.98, saving £4. Remember, we've got VE event. So if you see 4 items you want on the show, this is classed as 1 item, everybody. You will get the 4th item, which is the least expensive, for free. It's a great deal, isn't it? You might want the next set. Let's take a look at this one. This is lavender tea and lemonade fizz with that sentiment of hello. We're going to drop that price for you because we've got a great price to create and make some wonderful designs in here. Now, I may have showed you some of the samples which go along with this particular stamp set. So apologies if so. But what we've got here are some lovely designs on the back that you can make and create from this Stamp Soup selection. Lovely drawn and doodled by Nikki, but you can add detail to these if you want to. So here's some ideas of what you can make and create. And if I turn these around, you'll see the different ways that you can get in touch with Polkadoodles, and of course the different things that you can make and create. So let's just pick this up to show you. That's the design there. £13.98. Isn't that that's a bargain for 37 stamps that really will give you endless pieces of artwork, because we're not talking about a set of stamps here that do one thing. We're not talking about a set of stamps that will do 2 things. It'll just keep going and going and going. And the different combinations that you will have with all of those stamps, you will never run out of ideas. In fact, you'll be inspired time and time again. 374593 is your item number. If you want to go for your garden surprise collection, this is your lavender tea and your lemonade fizz. Oh, sounds lovely, doesn't it, already? Now, we've got lovely Nikki Hall joining us on Skype, and I can see her there in the monitor. We're just getting that ready. We're just getting you ready, Nikki, and then we'll put you on the larger screen. So we'll be talking to Nikki about her collections. But if you do want to get hold of these, we knew it was going to be busy. Pop them into your basket. Make sure you check out. Make sure they're yours. You can see the other items that we've got available for you on the website, because we've got some gorgeous card available to you. Which I think would work perfectly if you're going with the stamps, because that could be the inside of your card. You could stamp over that as well. So we've got many collections for you. Now, you've got 20 sheets available for you, and it's £16.99. And this is for your watercoloured card. Stamping on here, superb, because what you've got is that lovely smooth finish. But then when you add your watercolours here, you can drag the colours out, and then you can make some wonderful designs with that. So £16.99, 20 sheets included. I think Nikki's ready. I think we've got her right here. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning. Hi.
How are you?
I am great, thank you. I'm so excited.
We're really excited as well. Now, I must tell people at home there's a slight delay in our Skype call, but that's fine. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest. It's lovely. Nikki, I was so super excited to hear that we had the show today. I'm a big fan of yours. You know that. I love your artwork. I've used your stamps as well and surprised myself of the different designs that I can make and create. But can we tell people at home about Stamp Soup and the ideology behind it?
Oh, thank you, Janice. Yeah, basically, Stamp Soup, we designed this a few years ago now, about 4 or 5 years ago. And the whole purpose of Stamp Soup is that I really wanted to give everyone kind of a learning tool. So as a designer, I think sometimes I look at things slightly differently to a normal crafter out there. And when I kind of look at things, I always look at things in terms of the shape that they are and what I can actually create with that. And every product that I design I actually want it to have multiple uses. So if I look at something and I try and use it in different ways and I can't, usually we don't actually proceed with that. So the whole idea of Stamp Soup is that it's giving you stamp designs that are really versatile, that you can use in a myriad of different ways, that's easy, but also, this sounds like a contradiction, but it's easy, but it's also slightly challenging at the same time. So it's really about teaching you to look at things slightly differently. And it also means that we can give you amazing value for money, because instead of giving you a set of stamps and you might have, say, 6 flowers, we're actually giving you potentially hundreds and hundreds of different stamps in one set, which is just impossible. So the value is amazing, and it's just a fantastic, exciting way to stamp, because every single time you actually will create something different and something new. I'm using, stamp sets that we've had for 4 years, and I still create something new today that I didn't do 4 years ago. And to me, I think that's a really exciting concept.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's limitless. It really is. It's incredible. Just showing you a sample now on screen, Nikki, of using watercolours as well in the background. That's why I love your stamps, because we've got that sketchy doodle finish to them and those lovely crisp black lines or whatever colour you're stamping in. To use watercolours as well in the background really does highlight the images, but adds a cartoon style feel to it.
Yeah, it does. And that's why Stamp Soup works, and why I designed that sketchy feel, because it means that every single design is slightly forgiving. And it's about coupling things together. So for instance, there you have the pink and the blue bird, but they're actually a petal, but they're also a leaf. They could, if you actually turn them upright, they can be toadstools, they can be trees. All you've got to do is colour them different ways. There's a cute little sample that I've got here with me. I didn't get a chance to send you everything. But if can I just show you a couple of extra samples?
Yeah,
Janice?
I think we can. Yeah, we'll put you full screen. We'll take me away, and we'll see your samples.
So basically, here, this is what I'm saying. So that same stamp here. Oops, where am I? Over here. Oh, I'm the wrong way.
Oh,
it's the delay.
I see.
It's confusing me. So look, we've got a little cat, and that's actually the same stamp there that you're using with the birds. And all I did was I actually stamped it twice and over-stamped it. And every single thing on here is actually a stamp in one of the sets.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a bit of a strange looking cat, but he's there, And I kind of did this because I really wanted to show you that, a flower can be an animal, it can be lots and lots of different things.
I love that. Well, I've just got the stamp now. I'm just placing it over the bird so you can see. But yes, using it like that and using it on repeat, that would make an incredible flower,
Yeah.
a large flower. But yes, using it like that for a cat, or you could just turn that into a little quirky creature. All sorts of different. Oh, I want to start playing now, Nikki. I want to stamp. I want to stamp in pad and start playing. Oh, let's have a look. Oh my, look at that. And that's all from the stamps.
So again, it's the same stamp. So this time with a couple of others, but the head and the body is actually the same stamp again. So, it's really, really funky.
That is absolutely incredible. I love that. I really do. I remember doing a show with your stamps with Lou Sims, and I kept on looking as she was demonstrating, and she said, "You want to go, don't you?" And I went, "Yeah," because when you see somebody use them, you're thinking, "Oh, but it might make that," and go on, have a go. And I did, and I was making squirrels out of it, toadstools. I also made a snail, and it was all out of the same stamp. And I was like, this is amazing. Then I made plant pots and chimneys and clouds and houses. So like you say, it is limitless. But what it does, I think, Nikki, is bring out the creativity in the individual.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When I said before, it's challenging. It's challenging, but in a really creative way, and it's very easy to do. The one thing I would say is, if you feel a little bit daunted, then just get some paper in front of you, just some scrap paper, and just stamp. Just start to stamp. It's no good just sitting there looking at them and thinking, oh, what is this going to be? It's sometimes it's not until you actually start stamping and actually moving the images around, move the stamp around, turn it upside down, turn it left, turn it right, join it with other things, and that's really when the creativity really starts. And very often I find that when we start making the samples and start actually putting together the demos, and I know Lou does this as well, because we both end up, kind of a couple of, maybe a couple of hours in, and we end up actually Skyping each other and saying, what have you come up with? And it always amazes us that we're completely on different tangents. And very often it's the stuff that we make at the end of that process that we actually love the most. And it's because we've been playing with them for a couple of hours. And that's when we really get into it, and the whole creativity really comes out. But anyone can do this. It's not difficult. The one thing I would say is just make yourself some little masks with the sticky notes for the main stamps, so that you can overstamp. Do those, do a few together, and then the world's your oyster with it. Because, like you say, the only limit is your own imagination. There are no limits with this.
Yeah, there are no limits. I love that. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today and bringing us such an amazing range that's going to provide so much value, so much inspiration and fun. So thanks, Nikki. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. We'll see you in the demos.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, lovely Nikki Hall, such a talented lady, and bringing you fun, versatility, value for money. £13.98. But nearly 45% of the stock has gone for your stamp soup. There are collectors of stamp soup because they know the versatility and value for money that you are getting. Have fun with these particular stamps to give you so much inspiration for making and creating. Start stamping, start seeing, start colouring, start making. 939036. We've got some great demonstrations coming up for you as well, so you'll get that inspiration of what you can make and create. So if you've got yourself a cup of tea, make sure you check out your baskets though, because now we're going to see what you can do with them.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here with you, bringing you this video from the craft studio here at Polkadoodles, and I'm even more excited that we've got some brand new products for you today. So this is our latest stamp soup collection. Now, die-hard Polkadoodles fans out there will know that stamp soup is a range that we kind of produce not that often, but maybe a couple of times a year. And stamp soup is basically called soup because we're giving you all of the ingredients to make your own recipe. So it's all about creating your own craft recipe and your own stamping recipe. Now, the thing that I absolutely adore about stamp soup is that when I actually design these stamps, I can't, they're not just thrown together. I do have a grand plan to give you some basic ideas of what you're going to make with these. But the fantastic thing is that when these actually get into crafty hands and into your hands, you all make completely different things to what I originally envisaged. And that, to me, as an artist, is just the best thing that can possibly ever happen. So let's take a little look around these two sets. So this is your main item. So you're going to actually get these two sets. And we have Stamp Soup Surprise, which is this one. And you then also have the Garden Glory, which is this one. Now, we've actually, or I've given you all of these kind of coloured images on the front. And this is really as inspiration. You really need to take a look at these because it will help you get started. If you've never seen these before, Basically, it's a completely unique concept to Polkadoodles, and I kind of invented these back in 2016. I think it was the first ones we brought out. And basically the idea is that you actually, instead of giving you a flower stamp, we're actually giving you elements that make your own flowers. So you would be able to take, for instance, this stamp here, which actually looks like a heart, can actually be a leaf, or it can be a petal, or it can be whatever you want it to be. Everybody sees things differently. So again, here, you know, we've got this great shape here, which again can either be like a leaf or a petal, but also if you actually put a stem on it, you could start thinking, well, that could be actually a tree, or it could be a toadstool. And all of these stamps have multiple uses. There isn't one single stamp in here that can only be used for one thing. So I've actually, just to sort of give you a little intro, I wanted to really explain to you what you're going to be able to create. So if I just take those out of the way for a second, I actually made this little board up for you to just give you some inspiration to hopefully show you what I'm talking about. So for instance, let me see. Okay, so on this set, which is the Garden Glory, we have this lovely leaf stamp, and you can see here the actual inlay, the acetate here is actually pre-colored as well, so it kind of gives you a bit of a guide. So this is kind of drawn as a leaf or a petal. So I took that stamp, and look here, if you actually stamp that out as it is, that's what it comes out like. But then what happens is, if you actually add a little circle, and you have all of these little circles in the sets, so in both sets you've got lots of different circles. Circles are my thing. Circles are the most useful thing that you can have in a stamp set, in my opinion. So I kind of made a little flower center here, and then I've actually taken that stamp and stamped all around the outer edge, and I get this amazing flower, and it's stunning. So now I've gone from having a leaf to the flower. Now, the one thing I would say is, if I was going to actually make this up, I wouldn't use that leaf with that flower, because you know, you want to have a different style of leaf to go with your flower. And then that kind of goes on to something else. So then it becomes butterfly wings as well. So I just stamped them together, and then I actually took one of the other stamps, which is, where's that one? This one here. Okay. So I took this stamp, and again, this one could easily be a toadstool. It can be a leaf, it can be a butterfly wing, it can be lots of different things. And look, I've made a butterfly. And even these antennae here for the butterflies are actually in the set of stamps for you here. So all I did was I actually crinkled that stamp. So if I just show you quickly, that's like a line stamp, which can also be a flower stem, or it can be lots of different things. But what I actually did was, on your block, because with lines, my block needs cleaning a bit, but you can actually just pinch it. You're not going to damage it just by kind of pinching it together. And all I did was I literally inked it, and then kind of did a V with it, and then stamped the actual antennae and did it like that. It's not wanting to do it today, but I think it's my block that's a bit greasy. So moving on. So then we also took the same leaf again, and we made it into a double leaf. So then you can start to actually create some foliage. So that same stamp here, look, which was the one that's the smaller butterfly wing that we just showed you, that then, if you do the same with that, look at the flower that creates. And then that can become the big butterfly wings, whereas over here it was the small ones. And now we've actually swapped a different stamp in to create a completely different butterfly. And this is what I was talking about with this toadstool. So also in here, we also have these great stems here. So this is a border, it can be a flower stem, it can be whatever you want it to be. I'll show you some cool things with that later. But this is that one. So you've got a big thick one, and then you've got a thinner one here. So this is the toadstool. And then look, when we actually start to bulk those stamps together, that would make an amazing, I think, 4-leaf clover. Although also you could make a 4-leaf clover with some of the hearts that are actually in the sets. You've got 2 different hearts in these sets. So they make amazing 4-leaf clovers. So if you wanted to do something like a good look card, that would be great. So then that same, we've used again the same flower center. So look, now the flower center even has multi-purpose. So if you start actually blocking those together, they can become berries and flowers. And look what happens. So again, this long stem, that's actually that same line stamp. Look, and I made it a really tall flower. So I actually just stamped it twice and then did it down the other side to actually create a really tall stem. And look, now you start to build up kind of like a hyacinth type flower. And then here I've kind of added one of the other stamps to create a different kind of leaf. So this is what I was saying before, is I would go for maybe this leaf with this flower rather than using the same stamp to create the leaf and the petals, because it's kind of going to look a little bit strange. And then going on further, you're getting the gist now. So we've got other stamps in here. So we've got a different little center, a little circle, smaller petals, and that again is the same one that was the butterfly. And we're kind of bulking these together, completely different flowers, completely different butterfly. And then look what happens. You also have all of these tiny little stamps in here. So some of these little tiny ones, and you kind of look at them and you think, what the heck is that? And why is that in there? Like for instance here, so you've got a little tiny thing that looks a bit like a triangle. Hope you can see that. And that I kind of put in there so that it could be a beak. So look, we've got suddenly turned that flower petal into a little bird. And he's got a little beak, and all you've got to do is draw 2 legs on. And then that also becomes leaves. You could also make it into a bow. So just to kind of give you a look at some other things that you can create, which are moving on from just doing flowers, because I really want you to think about outside of the box. You know, because there are no limits to what you can create here. It's all about your own imagination. And what I always say to people, and what people say back to me once they've tried this system, is that it really opens your eyes and it opens out your crafting. And it's one of those things that's so easy to do, but it also challenges you, because it challenges you to look at everything differently. So look, again, here we've got that same petal, that lovely big petal, which makes amazing flowers. So look, the same principle. Look at the size of this. It's beautiful. And you'll see this again in my demo coming up. And then look, it creates a fantastic toadstool. But all you've got to do is colour it differently. And look, it's a tree. Or colour it differently again. And in the set here, we also have a little square here. And actually, from me designing this until I actually got the stamps, when I got the stamps back, I kind of went, why did I put a square in there? And every single stamp in these sets has a purpose. So it's kind of like a jigsaw and like a puzzle, and you just have to find the purpose of that. And the purpose of it is in your own imagination and whatever you want it to be. So now it's a hot air balloon, and all I literally did was just draw 2 lines. And then here we've got another butterfly. Look what happens here. So here, what I actually did was I actually stamped. Let me just grab the stamp very quickly and show you. So I actually took my stamp and stamped it that way. So I stamped it there, and then I just literally rotated it and stamped it there. And look what happens. You get like a little fab owl. Now, you might not have seen that, or you might have seen that right away. You know, or you might see something else. I also saw a little cat in there as well, and I've actually been making cats. So if I just show you, this is kind of a bit of a freaky cat, but you know, here, look at this. So I just kind of did the little cat's face, and then I put him some paws on, which are in the set. It's a whole stamp, his little paws. And then I used that big, the big stripy border here. I actually made that into his tail, and I actually added some swirls because you've got some swirly bits. And I even made the wall. Every single thing on here is in your sets. So, you know, it is about what you create. So even his eyes and everything, the only thing on here that I hand drew was I actually made his eyelids. So I just drew 2 lines here across his eyelid, but even his little nose is there. His little cheeks are actually in there as well. And I know it's kind of like a little bit far out there, but I just really wanted to show you that you have to think outside the box and just play. Have a really good go. Get some card or some paper, just some scrap paper like I've done here, and I really have a stamp. You kind of, I would say you need maybe 10-15 minutes to really get in the flow, and you'll kind of, because I think those first 15 minutes you're actually really looking at the stamps and looking at both sets and thinking, okay, what else is there in here and everything else. And it isn't until you actually start putting the ink on the stamps and stamping them on the paper that you realize what there actually is that you can create. And if I just show you the front packaging, we've got birds on here, we've got lots of different things. And in my demo, look at her. In my demo coming up next, I'm going to actually show you this and this and this. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, yes, and this is what we're going to see in a minute's time. I just wanted to show you this because it's amazing, isn't it? When you think that you can create something like this from the same stamp set that you create something like that. It really is incredible. And that stamp to create the owl also was used to create the 2 birds. You see where we're going with this? Endless possibilities. 939036 is your item number if you want to get hold of your Garden Glory and surprise. But 70% of the stock has gone. Now we're meant to have another show at 2 o'clock. I don't know about that. We'll have to see. We are busy. We're in the midst of a 4 for 3 event. So if you're buying any 4 items, this class is 1 item, by the way, then you get the least expensive for free. Just quote VE 4 for 3. It's all part of the event. We've also got the lavender tea and the lemonade fizz. The lavender tea and lemonade fizz, but 70% of the stock has gone from this particular set. So take up the stamps and pop them onto the paper. Start making, start creating, and you will be amazed at what you start to see. The idea with this is you start with your stamps, place them on the paper, and then see where you're going to go. Don't look at the stamps and think, what can I make out of that? Just pop them down onto the paper and let it evolve, let it evolve. I've played with Stamp Soup and I did exactly that. You just start to let those fantastic images to develop and start to grow. It really is a wonderful set to get hold of. 374593 is your item number, and you're saving £4 on this deal. It's only £13.98. Now we've also got the paper packs available for you. These are on a pick and mix. So you've got your fresh twist, your sweet treat, you've got your birthday daisy, your bright and beautiful blushing blooms and timeless rose. That was your butterfly daisy. So you choose any 2, any 3. You choose any 3. I'll get there. Choose any 3. Excellent value for money. £13.97. So it might be that you're going for the 2 stamp sets if you want to, and 2 of the pick and mix. So you'll get the least expensive for free. It's an idea, just a thought. It's entirely up to you. Right, we've got another demonstration coming up now from Nikki, so you can get some more inspiration. Remember, we're going to be taking a look at this.
Okay, so let's get making something. So I've already got all my stamps that I'm going to use on my blocks. So I kind of like to, when I'm doing this, I like to get lots of all my acrylic blocks out, so that I can kind of see what I'm doing, and I get all the stamps next to me ready, again, so that I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to just use a bit of paper underneath there so you can kind of see them. Okay, so this is about an A5 piece of watercolour card. So I'm using the Bockingford watercolour card, which is available on the website. And Today I'm actually going to use my Kuretake paints to actually colour this in, but I've already done that. I don't want to show you me colouring it in especially, because I want to get to the end of the demo. Luckily it's not too long. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take this stamp. So this, again, petal, could be a leaf, but in this case we're actually going to use it as an eye. So I'm going to use my VersaFine ink pad because it's nice and black and juicy, and I like using it because it dries quite quickly. So I'm just going to move it out of the way so I don't get too inky. You know what I'm like. So I'm going to just turn that over so it's clean to start with. So about halfway and in the middle, I'm just going to actually stamp that twice, and I'm just going to turn it round, and don't go too far apart. So you kind of probably want about half the size of the stamp space between the two. Okay, so we'll just stamp that down, and then I'm going to take this stamp, which is kind of like an eyeball. So this could be the center of a flower. It can just be like an accessory stamp. But on this occasion, we're going to make it the actual eye itself. So I'm going to stamp that into the center. And obviously, if you wanted, you could actually make it look a different way if you wanted. So you could actually go side to side to make it look like you know, have a bit of fun with it as well and play around. So I'm going to do it just straight on like this. So put that one to a side. And then we actually have a couple of different stamps. So we're going to go to our line stamps, and you're going to use these loads in these sets. So this one here kind of has two little lines coming off the end, and then this one is just like sort of a bit of an uneven line. So what I'm going to do is this one that's the uneven line, I'm just going to bend that very slightly so it kind of turns up at both sides. And in fact, actually, I'm not going to do that straight away. I'm going to take the other one, and what I'm going to do is we need to kind of create an eyebrow, but also we need to create an eyelid. And if you don't create the eyelid, it can kind of look a little bit strange. So I'm going to just stamp inside that eye and just create the eyelid. Okay, so going from, it doesn't quite fit the whole eye, but just kind of go to the outer edge and then stamp in and make it join, and it'll work perfectly. And then that same stamp we're actually going to use to create the eyebrow. Okay, and don't worry that it's different on each side. Nobody's eyebrows are the same anyway. Okay, so we've got a pair of eyes already. Now, the other thing that we're going to actually use here is this stamp. Now, this is a leaf, is a petal, but also is a mouth. Okay, so we're going to stamp that. Now, the positioning of the mouth is quite important. So what I would say is, if you can, she's got slightly slanted eyes there. There are ones a little bit further up. So if you, let me try and give you some guidance. If you kind of think about, if you lay that same stamp in the middle of where the two eyes are, that way vertically, where the bottom of that stamp is roughly, so where the, let me take that off there, where the bottom of that petal is roughly where you want the mouth to be. If you go too far down, you can put it further down, but you get a completely distorted face, and you don't want to be too far up either. But basically, roughly about, I'm a little bit high there actually, so kind of roughly where the bottom of that is where you want your mouth. So we're just going to stamp that there, and you can see that that actually is going to make quite a nice face shape. And at the end of the day, if you get it wrong, don't worry about it, because it's just a bit of ink on a bit of paper. You can turn it over, you can cut it out, you can use it as practice, you know, do lots of different, you know, just try it again. So now what I'm going to do, again, this, in fact, I'm going to just use the line stamp. Okay. and I'm just going to come quite close up underneath the mouth. I'm just wondering, maybe I won't use that one. Yeah, I will. There's a couple of different things that you can do this several different ways. So she kind of looks like she's got a very wide chin here, but don't worry about that because it's going to disappear. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that same stamp and we're going to actually create her neckline. Okay. And there's certain things that you kind of need to get in place that'll then start to make it look right. At the moment, it kind of can look a little bit weird, and it starts to look better once you've got a few different things in place. So I kind of still want to get a bit more of an eyelid going on here. So I'm going to create an extra eyelid, and you can see it actually lifts the eyes right up. If I just lift that up and show you close up where we're at. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is we have this really, really lovely flourish. Now, originally when I designed this, it was actually a flourish like this. And what I decided to do was to actually split those two stamps so that you had two completely separate stamps. But I still like using it together. So what we're going to do is start to create some hair and the side of her face. So, and this is why I'm saying don't worry too much about this chin. So we're going to literally come around the side of her face and then rotate. When you get up to where her fringe and everything would be, you want to rotate that and kind of change it around, make it different angles. Every time you do this, it's going to be different.
It really is amazing what you can do. And Nikki is right. Every time you do it will be different each and every time. Now we've got some news for you. Unfortunately, we've sold out. We've sold out of your stamp soup. I told you it was going to be busy. When we say that, we really do mean it, to let you know at home that those decisions need to be made. So we've sold out of the Garden Surprise collection, Garden Glory and Surprise. 54 stamps gone, £13.98. So let's take a look at your next stamp set. And this is also limited stock, £13.98. This is your Lavender Tea and Lemonade Fizz. It's exactly the same way. You can start to build, you can start to invent those wonderful images. Two samples here to show you, and a third one as well, of what you can create. It really is amazing. And each and every time they'll be totally different. Or if you keep your template, you could do the same one. Maybe just write down the stamps that you're using on the side, and then maybe take a photograph of this so you know. So you can create it again if you want to. If somebody says, I love that design, I'd love a card like that, you could create it again. It's all about having fun, and it's about the limitless possibilities, but we're limited stock on this particular deal. £13.98. Now we've got Lou Sims with us on demonstration, and she's going to take you through using these stamps.
The release of stamps by Art by Marlene when she did the underwater theme, and I loved, well, I'm not going to say what it is, but let's see if you can guess what it is. So I'm going to use that stamp, that one, that one, and that one, and this created my next sea creature.
Really is amazing. Again, just watching that inspiration there of just placing the stamps down and building and creating those wonderful shapes. Could be a fish, could be a butterfly, could be a tree, could be a house. Now, Now the lavender tea and the lemonade fizz, we've sold out of your stamp soups. Your Bockingford card, oh, it's also sold out. Sorry, everyone. We're having a busy morning. Oh, my goodness. Right, we've sold out of that. £16.99. Let's have a look at the stencils. We've got these available. They're on a pick and mix. Love stencils because, again, stencils can be limitless as far as designs are concerned. These are a pick and mix. You choose any three. With the stencils, these can help you build up your backgrounds, or they can help you build up the base of your image. For example, let's move through these and show you what you've got. So you've got your first option, which is the cloud landscape. If I pick this up and turn this around, this is the kind of effect that you can make with those clouds. You can create a landscape like that. I'm just thinking maybe stamp them out. You could add a shadow behind, or you could actually stamp them out and then cut them out. So you could have separate layers if you wanted to get you that 3D effect. Love the stitchy detail on there. So that, yes, that would make an incredible, incredible background. So you can ink it, you can emboss it, you can spray it, and you can glitter it. Just get creative, just get creative. So that's one option. Your next option is Heavenly Circles. This is a lovely one, and if I'm going to try and pick this up without knocking everything else. There you go. It's because we've got the black card behind. Here's an example of what you can create using this with your inks. Stunning, isn't it? Put some inks there, spray, maybe use some of the Pearly Winks sprays that you've got in your stash. Limited stock on that one. Next up is the grass lawn. I just want to bring each one of these forward because we've got a lovely example on the back of what you can do, and I'm just very mindful of not knocking anything over. Now this one is your grass. Let's turn this around. This would work really well with the clouds. The cloud landscape in the background, then the grass. Look at that. How about drawing some toadstools coming out of there? How about drawing a tree? How about using your stamps, your stamp soup, to create a little scene? So that's your grass. I like that one. Circles are sold out. That one has now gone. I'm going to take that away because I don't want to tease you. I'm having a busy show. Right, now you're distressed. Going down to the bottom here. No, we're going down here. Sorry, you're distressed trolley. Hang on, so start again. Do you know what I thought it was called? Distressed trolley. So you know when you just get that word in your head. Sorry, distressed trellis. Two words don't actually go very well together. Distressed trellis. Try doing it at home. It's like a tongue twister. Distressed trellis. It does create an amazing background. Love that. Limited stock on that one. Limited stock. Right. Timeless butterfly just here. So you've got your clocks, and those clocks depict 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Butterfly clock. And they've got your lovely butterflies just coming away from that clock that you could use separately. You can use the butterflies separately as well. And then down there, that is, oh, you see, it's the butterflies. I wondered for a moment what that was. Hey, that's lovely. Right, next, just here, you've got your flower trellis. Like that, that's nice. Again, with your stencils, you can use as much or as little as you like. Yes, like that one. I can instantly see what I could do with that. I've got some great texture paste at home. I can mix them all up in the different colours. And then the one on the end just here, this is your pretty butterflies. Lovely they are, pretty butterflies. Now with your stencils, you can use these with your inks, you can use these with your paints, you can use these with your paste. You can also use them with a pen. Because you can put the stencil down, you can draw around it. So there's all kinds of different things you can do with your stencils. You choose any three. £11.99. The cloud is limited. That one there, your cloud landscape is now limited stock. £11.97. Right, next up, we have got some paper pads for you. Ooh, pick a mix for this one. We have got 3, 4, 5, 6 to choose from. It's a pick and mix. You choose any three. Great value for money, £13.97. Choose any three. You might want to choose all three sets if you want to. Remember, you get the cheapest one free if you go for 4 items on the show. Now, which one is my favourite? We've got lots of different ones in here for you. I'm just perusing them as we're looking over. because I keep changing my mind. I'll tell you, Butterfly Daisies Limited. I like this one, and this one I used on a project. I think I sent a picture to Meg actually, because I used this particular one on a project that I used stamp soup with. I'll post it on my Facebook later on, but I used that particular piece of paper, I do believe, in the background to matte and layer, and it was really effective. It was really effective, and it just added that extra touch. So we've got lots of different papers in here. Let's see, you have got 24 craft papers. They are, I'm going to get my glasses on for this one, sorry. And by the way, I bought these in error. They look smaller on the website, but they're really big. Right, they are 6x6, of course they are. Standard single-sided, 6 designs, 4 of each. So 6 designs, 4 of each in your pads. And you can see there, they're all double-sided. Did that say single-sided? It did. These are double-sided. They're double-sided. There's a surprise. There's a nice surprise. Maybe it means same design each side. Same design each side. So they are double-sided, but it's the same design each side. That's my favourite one. That's my favourite one. The Butterfly Daisy is going to go just here. Your Butterfly Daisy. I'm just going to pick this up. There you go. This is going to go any second. So they are double-sided, but it's the same design on each side. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, this is gorgeous. Yeah, I can see why that's now gone. That's now gone. Right, I think this one is a fantastic deal. I'm going to take that away because I don't want to tease you anymore. Don't want to be teasing you with what you can't have. This is a lovely one as well. Shall I pick this one up? I'm going to pick it up. There you go. Oh, this is limited. I do like this. I was attracted to this one. You got your stripes in there, your lovely grungy background. Oh, that's sensational, isn't it? With the blues and the greens. Beautiful. Love that one. That's limited stock for that one. I best choose another favourite. This is still my favourite. Second, I found it. This one here. I'm going to pick this one up. This one is Sweet Tweet. And then he said treat. Sweet Tweet. With the birdies. Look at the birdies. Oh, look at that. You know when fizzy pop just fizzes? Or you've got something sparkly like Carver in the fridge, yeah? You know when you see all those sparkles, you go, ooh, that's lovely. Well, this is sparkles, but doodles. Doodle sparkles. Sparkadoodles. And you're watching Polkadoodles. And these glasses really are too big for my face, sorry. They look so much smaller on the website. Things do though, don't they? When you look online, they only look, oh, that looks really small, and then they come, they're really big. So that's another one of my favourites. So that's 3 of my favourites. Oh, let's have a look at the bottom 2. These are also really nice. Oh, I can't choose. You've got your Timeless Rose and your Blushing Blooms. £13.97. You're saving £4. It's a pick and mix on any 3. You get to choose any 3 of these designs. I've used this one before on a design, and I'll pop it on my Facebook after the show. It was a show that I was doing with Lou Sims, and I was playing around with the stamps, and it was that piece of paper there. She said, choose your favourite. I went straight for that one. So you can still get this book. It is still available, and you choose any 3. If you want 3 of this, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want 2 of this and 1 of the others, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want 2 of the others and 1 of this, you can. If you want 1 of each, then it's entirely up to you. Let's pick up the Timeless Rose. Oh, that's nice. Dusky pink. That's very Catherine, don't you think? Catherine's in the studio. Would you say that's very you? Yep, I'm getting the thumbs up from Catherine. These are single-sided. So some are single-sided. Some it looks like double-sided, but the same design. So these are nice with your dotty and spotties. Very Catherine as well, very chic and shabby. Not that Catherine's shabby. She's shabby chic. I didn't say she was shabby. Oh, apparently you're a shabby chick. I didn't say it. Chic. You pronounce it chic, not chick. And this is your Blushing Brooms. Oh, lovely. That is gorgeous colours. Dusky pink in there. Choose any 3. These are also single-sided as well. 934425. Wow, what a busy show. What a busy show. Thank you to Nikki. Thank you for your demonstrations. Thank you for Lou. Thank you for your demonstrations. Thank you to you for watching as well. Stay where you are because we've got Catherine coming up next for the next 4 hours.